What up, peeps? It's your girl, Dosh. Come back to Real Takes. Well, it's the time, guys. It's reaction time, and this is to the Sandman. This will be for episode 10, titled Lost Hearts. Now, before I jump into it, just a quick minor recap on the last one, titled Collectors. That was a really good episode. It finally came full circle with Rose finding Jed, but in the instance, being put in a situation where now they have to deal with Corinthian. Now, you see, of course, dealing with, Rose coming into the realization of what's happening with Lita and this whole situation with her, of course, being pregnant, knowing that these things are happening in her dreams with her, husband that passed, Hector, knowing it's a ripple effect, certain things happen, and she's just like, I don't understand. She's like, I know why this has happened. This is my fault. I'm gonna fix it. And she's like, no, don't fix anything. Of course, she doesn't want to fix it. She's so happy that when she goes to sleep, she sees Hector, but I'm still trying to understand how in the heck it can cause her to be pregnant. I'm still trying to grapple that, but needless to say, she eventually does get in contact with somebody, which is Corinthian, stating she has found her brother and she's on her way. So of course her and decides to go find her brother and all that, and he's at some hotel, and there's a convention there, of course, titled Cereal. Not the cereal that Jed wants, but another type of cereal. So in the instance of that, we just kind of see, Rose, coming to terms with Lita probably not being around anymore, because she's like, you'll see me in dreams. She's like, why you don't want to be here? There's nothing here for me, whatever and all. Because what she really wants is her husband, but he has passed. And it kind of puts her in a situation where you really feel for her, but in the instance, still, this is something that should not be happening. So I like how Rose eventually sets out to go, get her brother with Gilbert. And then from there, you see, of course, little tension between Dream, Morpheus, and Lucian. And Matthew's just like, you all got to come to terms with it. It's just bigger things going on. The vortex things are happening, after they saw that there was a, some sort of, I want to say, like, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember what you call it. Darn, I lost my train of thought. But needless to say, wherever in their dream is causing ripple effect and it's causing damage. And we know some of that's coming from Rose and not realizing what is starting to do and taking an effect on her, unbeknownst to her. Honestly, she knows of it, but she doesn't realize her part, really how significant it is. Also from that, when you see, of course, some of the people at the convention, certain things just seem not right. Of course, Jed's not, sure what's going on. He's up in the room eating his chicken fingers and drinking his drink, but he eventually leaves. He's told not to go. Kids don't listen, we know. And, he kind of roams or whatever, and eventually Rose and Gilbert show up, and you can tell right off the bat, they try to separate so they can, find him quicker. Gilbert kind of realizes where they're at, talking about some cereal. Is it this, is this? Oh no, that's just another way to phrase it. We're seeing, the people meet Corinthian, at the opening of the ceremony in one of the hall, room halls, and, everybody's excited. One guy in particular will love to talk to him, unbeknownst to them. He calls himself Boogeyman, but he's really not. Corinthian knows he is not the real boogeyman. He knows what happened to the real boogeyman, so they know he has somebody trying to infiltrate who's from like some sort of blogger, trying to get real close and all that, putting himself in harm's way, literally and figuratively. And it does backfire on him when they corner him, in a room after Corinthian lures him there, talking about, first he wanted to drink coffee, whatever, but he ends up putting him in a room where he ends up, they go to town on him, and that's when Jed, of course, following him to town, Corinthian goes where and sees it. So with that being said, before I get into that, the part that really got me was the scene with Dream having to explain to Rose and Lydia that Hector needs to go. When he died, he should have stayed dead, pretty much. So all that happening, then, seeing how it affected Lita, and then Rose is like, you go and you do that. Because at first he's like, I'm going to end this now. But no, she came right in there like, you do this to my friend, you leave her there, and you talk about trying to take her baby. It was, created in the dream. And it's like, it is mine. I was like, I'll be honest with you, that was so harsh. I was like, wow. And she set the tone for it. But I said, in the end, you're going to need his help, sweetie. Because now you're in a situation, as you saw from the end of the episode, where one of the guys called Funland decides to take Jed when he runs and catches Corinthian, hurting and, pretty much killing this guy. And then you see, of course, him taking it back thinking, I'll take care of you. But he has his own plans. Hence, when he was talking to a fellow person at the convention. And I just love how Jed and Rose were reunited, even though they had to run away from Funland. But he tried to grab them, but Corinthian showed up, stabbed him. And now we have to see what's going to happen with Jed and Rose. I really feel like now that Dream is aware, Gilbert told him where he's at, Corinthian dealing with Jed and Rose. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into it. I'll say the rest of my thoughts up in you guys.
He's watching you because the minute you fall asleep and start bringing the walls down between people's dreams, he's gonna kill you. We are the American dreamers, driving down the holy road of true knowledge that's paved with blood and gold. We are gladiators, conquerors. We are explorers.
Oh!
Kings of the night.
Look at you, walking this earth for over a century, infecting others with your joy of death. But what have you given them? What have you wrought? Nothing.
Let's find out.
Enough.
Oh my God.
Now that she knows you're planning to kill her,
if I'm as powerful as you say I am, then I will find my own way. In the meantime, the walls go back up.
I am only sorry I won't be here to see Rose Walker do the same to you.
Goodbye.
And you, who call yourselves collectors, but no more. The dream is over.
Oh wow, look at him.
I have taken it away. That you shall feel the pain of those you have slaughtered.
Hello, 911.
And you shall carry that pain and grief and guilt with you. Tonight when she sleeps, I will find her. And we will end this.
How is she? Is she okay?
I am sure she's fine, but we are not family, so you're not telling us anything.
So did you know she was pregnant?
When you go to sleep tonight, you have to find him and end this. It's up to you, Rose. You're in charge now. You're the vortex.
Sleep in their bed, but they're not safe. No one is. Not until the vortex is dead.
Unity Kincaid. Rose Walker is your great-granddaughter.
Yes. How do you know Rose?
And according to this book, I was meant to be the vortex of this age. But because you were imprisoned and locked out of the dreaming, that fate was handed down to my descendant.
Father of your child had golden eyes.
I've never seen anything like them.
He's perfect.
So cute.
We're gonna do this together, right?
We already are.
Desire. I stand in my gallery and I hold you a sigil. Talk to me.
My sweet dream, this is a surprise.
Unity Kincaid should have been a vortex in this era. But someone took advantage of my imprisonment and fathered a child with her. Mess with me wine again, I shall forget your family. You believe yourself strong enough to stand against me.
Gotta get skin this time with mine. Next time, I'll draw blood.
My goodness.
written by Rose Walker.
And how is it?
You may take issue with the depiction of the king in the story, but I loved it.
You're not ready to say hello?
Oh.
Look, gorgeous gold. Thank you, Lucian.
I had no right returning here after over a century expecting everything to be just as I left it. Luciana tried to tell me that. So did you. But no one listened.
Thank you, sir. You wish to invade the dream?
If you command it.
Then perhaps the waking world. And one day...
You do more than think. The generals demand action.
Do they? Then I shall act. You may tell.
Excellent. Good day, Your Majesty.
What are you going to do? Something that will make God absolutely livid. And bring Morpheus to his knees.
All right, you guys. This episode was really good. A lot of things were pretty much came to a conclusion. Some things were revealed, which I did not see coming. And I just like how a lot is pretty much is being taken care of. Now, instance with Rose dealing with the vortex, clearly you see Corinthian trying to play that card, being and kind of letting her know that being that you are the vortex, once Morpheus finds you and once you go into your dream, he's going to kill you. And that really is honestly what he's supposed to do. Now, with that being said, we're dealing with Jet. We're dealing with other people who are in her life. So if she stays, well, it's going to cause so much harm and damage to a lot of people, bringing down all the walls within the dreams and all that. And she's going to lose people. So she doesn't want that. She's not trying to cause harm to anybody she cares about, of course, including her brother and her closest friends. And that's where you can tell she's conflicted, because in the end, when she does meet up with Lita, come to find out she's in labor, she's at the hospital, she's not had the baby, and she's like, you're in charge of this, this situation. You can deal with dream warfare. And the only reason she's saying that, honestly, is because she don't want him to come for that baby. Curious to see what's going to happen in that instance, because he says at any time he can come. He might not come right now, but he can still come. Now that we know that Rose, in the instance of her finding out within this episode that she truly was not supposed to be the vortex, I like the reveal of knowing when she's about to do a self-sacrifice and end it all. You see the part where Lucian comes in contact with Unity Kincaid, and you can tell it's definitely through a dream, and come to find out she's able to stop it before anything happens. Come to find out she should have been the vortex. And it looks like someone played a part in that, and all the while in certain instances of different episodes, just always there, hinting, it was Desire. When you find a part in this episode where she says, the flower child had, gold eyes, and they show those eyes of Desire, it all comes to make a little bit better sense. She has been in hell when he was imprisoned, and he, she, of course, the situation where she fell asleep and all that, and just kind of changed the whole dynamic of how things should have truly have gone. She would have been initially. So she asks Rose to go within herself, to pull out the vortex, and she takes it over, and she pretty much ends up killing herself in the process of doing that, because that's kind of the way it should have gone in the beginning. But the good thing is that things have been put in place, from all the times we saw in other episodes between Kincaid and Rose, that she wanted to make sure she was well taken care of and all that. She would be able to come and be a guardian to Rose and Jed, but if anything happens to her, then Rose would definitely be the guardian. She can, took care of all these things with her close, right hand, who was noting all the things that need to be put in place. And it's just so unfortunate, because I really love the character Unity Kincaid in these, in this overall storyline, especially with the part, in regards to, Rose's backstory with her family and all that. So that was really sad. But I will say this, the one that I definitely got some satisfaction in is with Corinthian, being that, when he had cut Morpheus, I really thought there was so much damage that it wouldn't be repaired, and he was going to have the upper hand where he might end up trying to rid Morpheus and then be able to get one up on, handling that and then dealing with Rose. But it looks like in the end, it didn't work out for him. And I'm like, you know what? No, you've done enough. When you have all those people in that convention sitting there believing what you're saying to them, thinking you were doing such good in their eyes, knowing that they were doing heinous acts. You're like, oh, we don't get paid. We don't get this, we're and all that. You're like a little entrepreneur of things. I'm like, what? Ill. Like, no. And I love how Morpheus, once he dealt with him, let them know, want you to think about what you've done. Some of you is going to have a little bit more, reflection. Like, some of them in the car crying, and one of them she'd actually called, admitted her crime. The other one was like, no, I'm just going to just take my life, so it's just what it is. I just don't feel for any of them. You did heinous things. I don't know if we get to see the other ones. Of course not. Those 3 integral ones are the main ones right there. It is what it is. But yes, that part. And just seeing that in the end for Rose, she definitely gets to have her brother safe. Lita has her little, baby boy. A couple of the, people from the house, one of them's going to go back to New York and all that, which he's definitely really wanted to be from the other previous episodes. And then the 2 sisters gets to take over the home so they can go out there and do what they really want to do. Because she's always talking about writes a book, maybe go back to school. He wants to, do his stuff like, Broadway and things of that nature. So I'm just happy that a lot of them are living out things that they've always dreamed of wanting for themselves. Are actually living it out, for them to all see, come to fruition. So it was really a good episode. I really enjoyed this one. I love the ending where you see Morpheus let Desire have it, like, you put, harm's way, you did this and all that. And you can tell she's not done. You can see, I don't know if it's a, sibling rivalry, but it's not really, because it's not like it is him doing anything to her per se, but Desire just not being happy, with what Morpheus is trying to do. It's almost like he's trying to keep everything kind of straight and narrow. You see with the one of them that got away, he'd in prison, but then decided to, take heed to what they said and let them, go out there and do good with dreams. Same thing with Lucienne doing what she's doing and things of that nature. So it's like he has totally changed after everything that has happened since our first episode. And Desire's like, okay, this time, I gotta wait. Next time, I'm just gonna draw some blood. It's just like, you just cannot stop. So I feel like this definitely sets up the possibility. I really do hope we get a season 2. That would be great, because I would love to see how they can continue the story and then add, other layers onto it, and definitely understanding. I want to know more as to why Desire is the way she is when it comes to her other sibling. And you see what's happening with Lucifer. I'm just like, what is it that you just have such disdain, because he's like trying to keep things, within a realm and things the way they should be in a certain order, but the rest of them want to cause chaos and all that, like Corinthian thinking what he was doing is correct, Desire trying to do what she's doing, and Lucifer's, wanting, to comfort him and make him damn near bend the knee. I'm just like, oh my God, it's like, just like, stop. But it adds more to the story, and I'm always here for that, as much as just like, but that's being a sibling thing. Some of them, it's just how siblings can be, but not to this extent. I'll at least say that much. So, but yes, in the end, I did enjoy this episode. I think it's one more. So with that said, you guys comment below. Let me know what you think. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next reaction. You guys take care.